Hey, you're listening to the Riverdale Podcast. This is episode number 108. My name is Jonathan. Welcome to lovely Riverdale, USA. This is a weekly Archie Comics fan podcast. We update every Saturday morning, and every week we break things down into 4 categories. The first category is the book of the week. That's the comic book I read this week. Sometimes it's a new comic book, sometimes it's an old comic book, but it's always an Archie comic book. We move then to the news of the week. That's what happened in the world of Archie in the week since our last podcast. Then on to new releases, when we go over what came out this past Wednesday, what will be coming up this coming Wednesday, and we review the digital releases of the week from Archie. And to wrap up today, we're going to be talking about some upcoming collected editions, some cool stuff coming out from Dark Horse and from IDW. That's what the show looks like this week. Before we get rolling, I wanted to remind everyone about the Riverdale Residence program. You can become a resident of Riverdale. If you love the show, if you listen to the show every week and you want to support the show, you can head over to riverdalePodcast.com, and over on the left-hand side, there's a little scroll bar, a little subscribe button, and you can sign up to make a monthly donation to help the show keep rolling. You can become a junior citizen at a donation of $3 a month. You can become a senior citizen at a donation of $5 a month, or you could become Hiram Lodge himself, the richest man in Riverdale, at a crazy outlandish donation of $10 a month. So if you have some bucks to spare, if you support the show, it's a great way to help us keep rolling. It's the way I've decided to support the show moving forward, is with direct contributions like that. So I would super, super appreciate it if you'd head over to riverdalePodcast.com, head over to the left-hand side, find that little drop box, and subscribe for whatever amount of money you feel comfortable contributing to the show, whatever the show is worth to you, or the extent to which it makes you excited every week. And as a special thank you to the folks who are doing that, starting in April, next week, the 5th, I will be announcing the prize pack. There will be a cool a set of prizes, cool things that you will want to win, and I'll be announcing that, as I said, next week on the 5th, and then the final show of April the 26th, I'll be announcing a winner from everyone who has signed up at that point to be a Riverdale resident. So it's a great way for you to help out the show, help out me producing the show every week, and in turn, a cool way to get some cool prizes, and a way for me to say thanks to you guys for doing that. So there we go. That's out of the way. Let's get on to the book of the week. All right, this week's book of the week, for this week's book of the week, we are heading back 25 years. We are headed to the distant past of 1989, and we are talking about Veronica, number 1. This is titled Veronica in Paris. The initial premise of the series was that each issue would find Veronica in a different country, Canada and Russia and a bunch of different places. And this is the initial issue. I found this back in the fall at a convention. I was super excited to read it, and let's dig right in. This is cool stuff. When I spoke with Dan Parent, I spoke with him last fall at the Granite State Con down in New Hampshire. And, of course, I spoke to him just a few episodes back for episode 100, answering your questions. On both occasions, he spoke very reverently about this title. And this was really the place where Dan Parent got his start, started developing his style. And one of the first books, I think, where he wasn't collaborating directly with Dan DeCarlo, aside from the cover. So let's start with the cover, which is, I believe, penciled by Dan Parent and then inked by Dan DeCarlo. It has both their signatures on there. Looks fantastic. And let's get into the guts of the book. This was written by Kathleen Webb. Obviously, she scripted tons and tons of Archie comics over the years. You'll find her name through all of your Double Digest if you go looking. The Dan Parent is credited with the concept as well as the penciling for this issue. Inking by Hy Eisman, lettering by Mindy Eisman, coloring and production by Barry Grossman. And editors are listed as Dan Parent and Victor Gorelick, which is cool. And editor-in-chief Richard Goldwater, the late Richard Goldwater. So the premise of the issue is the lodges are in Paris, and they are living it up. Hiram is off at meetings, doing multi-million-dollar business guy stuff, and what are Hermione and Veronica doing? But, of course, shopping. Going around to all of the shops. And the basic premise of the book, of the issue, is that Veronica gets tangled up in this mess. There's this jewels thief who plants his jewels on Veronica, these jewels that he has stolen, these prized diamonds, needs a quick getaway from the police, so he stashes the diamonds with Veronica's stuff. And then they spend the rest of the issue, he and a couple of thugs that he has hired run around and try to get them back. And in the meantime, we have tons of hijinks. We have tons of little French lessons. Folks will speak in French, and then there'll be a little asterisk and towards the bottom of that particular panel. They'll tell you what they're saying in French. We see a lot of the sights. We see artwork. We see the city of Paris, which is pretty rad. So it's an educational-ish book, and sometimes that makes the script a little awkward. People pointing at things and then saying things about them in an expository way. But it's fun nonetheless. So in a sort of plot summation, these folks chase Veronica around for the jewels, and then along the way she meets the son of Hiram's business partners, Jean-Paul Bardet, and he takes her out and shows her the sights and whatnot. And the issue wraps up, of course, with the criminal being brought to justice and Veronica heading back to America, heartbroken that she's leaving behind Jean-Paul. Now, what I really want to talk about in this is Dan Parent's artwork throughout here. And what immediately struck me is that the issue is based largely on a 6-panel grid. Sometimes actually 6 panels per page. And then sometimes, 2 panels will be brought together or whatever, but it's generally done in that grid form, which, as you know, as you guys have been reading Dan Parent issues over time, if you look at the recent Archie World Tour stuff, if you look at his work on Kevin Keller, he does not work inside a grid anymore whatsoever. If you look at his work now, it's almost as though he drew the panels and sort of placed them on the page, sometimes at a bit of an angle. He does a lot of cool stuff with layout and a lot of cool stuff with different shaped panels and things like that. But it's kind of nice here. I can't decide whether I like it because it's different, and I can't decide if I like it because it's throwbacky. But there seems to be a lot more panels per page in this issue and a lot more information conveyed. While a modern issue I like because they breeze right through. I can read through them really, really quickly. This issue I liked for, almost the converse reason that, it seems very dense and a lot of things happened. It's dense in panels. It's got a lot of word balloons as you look through it. And a lot happens. It's broken up into 3 acts. So I don't know if this stuff has ever been reprinted. I know that, obviously, this book didn't keep with the theme of going to a different country with each issue. I believe Dan said they dropped off after 20 issues or so and went to just the regular Veronica title, which ran up into the 200s before it switched over and became the Kevin Keller title, or it was canceled in lieu of the Kevin Keller title. So I don't know if these issues have appeared in digest or double digests, but they're super fun. I will definitely be seeking out more issues of this. It's fun to see Dan Parent's art, which is very close to Dan DeCarlo's style back then, but even then, a lot different and decidedly his own. So there you have it, guys. I had a great time reading Veronica #1. I think you guys are going to like it if you can track it down. If it's been collected anywhere, I would definitely recommend it. Not an expensive issue. You can find that in the back issue bins, or head over to any of those sites where you want to buy back issues. Check it out. That is the book of the week, the premiere issue, Veronica in Paris #1. In Archie news this week, over at Comics Alliance, Chris Sims, former guest of the show, Chris Sims, from just a couple weeks back, wrote up an article about the Dawn of X. This is the Mega Man X crossover that's coming, starting with issue number 37 of the Mega Man title. In the last issue, the most recent issue, and issue coming up, we've got the great Mega Man X backup stories in there.